She destroyed my relationship and called it love. I turned her, love, into my peace and made her watch me win. The smell of freshly ground coffee always reminded me of Ethan. He used to wake up at 6 in the morning, even on weekends, just to prepare that special coffee he bought from the roastery in Portland, Oregon. French press, freshly ground beans, served in ceramic mugs he brought back from a trip to Japan. Small rituals that built a life together. Today, 5 years later, standing at the door of the coffee shop in Seattle where everything began to unravel, that smell no longer made me cry. It did something different. It reminded me of who I had become in his absence, and of who destroyed me while pretending to love me. Vanessa Bennett was sitting by the window, her brown hair perfectly styled, nails done, that smile I used to find comforting. My sister-in-law, my brother Christopher's wife, the woman who spent 5 years telling me she was my best friend while systematically destroying every piece of happiness I built. She didn't see me yet. She was fiddling with her phone, probably posting another perfect picture on Instagram. The Bennett family always impeccable, always united, always lying. In my purse, I carried an envelope. Inside it, printouts of messages a digital investigator had recovered from Ethan's old phone. Messages Vanessa sent to him, impersonating me. Messages saying I didn't love him anymore, that I was having an affair, that he should leave me before I hurt him more. Messages that destroyed my engagement 3 years ago. Thought, there's a special kind of betrayal that comes wrapped in concern, that arrives with hugs and soft words and I only want what's best for you. It's the most dangerous kind because you don't see it coming. You invite it in. You thank it for it. I took a deep breath and entered the coffee shop. The bell above the door chimed, that same sound from 3 years ago, when I came here after Ethan broke up with me. When Vanessa found me crying and told me that maybe it was for the best. When she held my hand and said I deserved better, someone who truly loved me. When she lied straight to my face while I was bleeding. Olivia, Vanessa looked up, her smile widening. You came. I was worried you'd cancel again. I had, 3 times in the last month. Because every time I looked at her, every time I heard that sweet, venomous voice, I felt my stomach churn. But today was different. Today, I wasn't here to be comforted or manipulated. Today, I was here to free myself. Hi, Vanessa, I said, sitting down. I placed the envelope on the table between us. I didn't open it yet, just left it there. An innocent white rectangle containing years of documented lies. She looked at the envelope, then at me. What's this? Coffee first, I said, signaling the waitress. Do you still have that oat milk vanilla latte? You remember, she said, and there was something calculated in her smile now. There always was. I just had never seen it before. I remember a lot of things, I said, like how you drove me home when Ethan broke up with me, how you stayed with me for 3 days while I cried, how you told me he was never good enough for me. He wasn't, Vanessa said quickly. Olivia, you deserved much better then. How you told me you had seen him with another woman, I continued, my voice too calm, at Pike Place Market. You said they were holding hands, laughing. You said you didn't want to tell me, but you thought I should know. Vanessa nodded, her expression serious now. I remember, and I'm sorry you had to go through that, but... Except he wasn't with another woman, I interrupted. He was with his sister, Lauren, who was visiting from Boston, picking out a birthday gift for me. The silence that followed was broken only by the sound of the espresso machine in the background. Vanessa blinked, her smile faltering for just a second before she recomposed herself. Olivia, I don't know what you're trying to get at, but... And remember when you told me Ethan had commented to Christopher that he was having doubts about our relationship, that he wasn't sure if he wanted to get married? He said that, Vanessa insisted. Christopher told me. I wouldn't make something like that up. You're right, I said. You didn't make it up. You simply told Christopher that Ethan had said it, and then told me that Christopher had heard it. You created a circular lie where everyone thought they were just repeating what they had heard. The waitress brought our coffees. Vanessa waited for her to leave before speaking, and when she did, her voice had that trembling quality I knew so well, the victim's voice. "I don't know why you're doing this," she said, "why you're attacking me like this. I've always been your friend, Olivia. I've always tried to protect you." "Protect?" I repeated, and the word tasted bitter. "Is that what you call it?" I pushed the envelope toward her. "Open it." "Olivia." "Open it, Vanessa." She hesitated, then picked up the envelope with fingers that trembled slightly. She opened it, pulled out the printed pages, and I saw the exact moment she recognized the messages. Her face paled, her lips parted, the mask began to crack. "These are messages from your phone number," I said calmly, "sent to Ethan from my phone. Except I didn't send them. You sent them. That night, remember? When you stayed at my house after I drank too much at Christopher's birthday dinner. When I passed out on the couch and you gently put me to bed." Reflection. There are moments in life where you see your entire story rearrange itself, where every memory, every event, every coincidence suddenly aligns perfectly, and you realize you weren't crazy, you weren't paranoid, you were being systematically destroyed by someone who smiled while doing it. "You took my phone," I continued, "and you texted Ethan, saying I didn't love him anymore, that I was confused, that maybe we should take a break. And then, when he responded, confused, you deleted the messages from my phone before I woke up." "This is ridiculous," Vanessa said, but her voice was weak. "Why would I do that?" "Because you didn't want me to be happy," I said simply. "Because as long as I was broken, dependent, needing you, you had purpose. You had control. You had power." Vanessa was trembling now, the pages shaking in her hands. "You don't understand. I love you, Olivia. You're like a sister to me." "No," I said softly. "You don't love me. You own me. Or you tried to, but not anymore." I stood up, grabbed my purse. Ethan and I reconnected 6 months ago. He told me about the strange messages he was getting from me, messages that didn't sound like me. A forensic expert recovered everything, and we found something interesting. You've done this before, with Christopher's ex-girlfriend, with his best friend in college, with anyone who's threatened your control over the Bennett family. Vanessa was crying now, but I felt no pity, not anymore. "I didn't come here for revenge," I said. "I came for closure, to tell you that you no longer have power over me, that I've built a life, a beautiful life, on the ruins you created, and you're going to have to watch, Vanessa. You're going to have to watch me prosper." I walked out of the coffee shop, the bell chiming behind me, and for the first time in 3 years, the sound didn't make me want to cry. It made me feel free. 6 months before that coffee shop encounter, I was sitting on the floor of my Seattle apartment, surrounded by moving boxes and memories I had avoided for 3 years. Photos of Ethan and me, cards he gave me, the engagement ring I never managed to sell. My therapist, Dr. Sarah Mitchell, had challenged me to finally process the end of my relationship. "You've spent 3 years avoiding it," she said in our last session. "Time to face it." So there I was, facing it and hating every second. My phone rang. Christopher, my older brother, the man who practically raised me after our parents died in a car accident when I was 15 and he was 23. Christopher, who met Vanessa 2 years later and married her 6 months after that. Christopher, who never saw what his wife truly was. "Hi," I answered, my voice tired. "Liv, are you okay? Vanessa said you canceled lunch again." Of course she did. Vanessa always knew exactly when I canceled, always concerned, always just wanting to help. Thought, and there was the pattern. Vanessa plants concern in Christopher. Christopher confronts me. I feel guilty. I cave. The cycle that had kept me trapped for years. I'm busy, Chris. Work, you know. You're always busy lately, he said, and there was genuine concern in his voice. Vanessa's worried. She said you've been distant. I'm fine, I said, just processing some things. About Ethan? My whole body tensed at the name. Why? Vanessa told me you've been talking about him lately, that you're thinking about reaching out. Liv, I don't think that's a good idea. He hurt you. You need to move on. Except I hadn't talked about Ethan, not with Vanessa, not with anyone. Christopher, I said slowly, when was the last time you heard me talk about Ethan? Vanessa said 2 weeks ago at family dinner? I haven't been to family dinner in 2 weeks. I was at a work conference in Portland. Silence on the other end of the line. Are you sure? I'm sure where I was, Chris. More silence. Then let me call you back. He hung up and I stood there, heart pounding fast, mind racing. Vanessa was lying about me to Christopher. But why? What did she gain from that? My phone rang again. Unknown number from Oregon. I hesitated, but answered. Olivia? The voice was familiar, but I couldn't place it. It's Lauren Parker, Ethan's sister. My heart stopped. Lauren, how did you get my number? I need to talk to you about Ethan, about what happened between you two. She paused. I think there are things you don't know. 30 minutes later, I was in my car, driving to the cafe where Lauren had asked to meet. My hands trembled on the steering wheel. 3 years. 3 years since I'd seen anyone from the Parker family. Lauren was waiting at a corner table, her red hair pulled back in a ponytail, green eyes identical to Ethan's, watching me with a mix of nervousness and determination. Thanks for coming, she said when I sat down. What's going on, Lauren? She took a deep breath. Ethan doesn't know I'm here. He'd kill me if he knew, but I can't stay quiet anymore. She pulled out her phone, opened a folder of screenshots. These are messages Ethan received from you, from your number, in the months before you broke up. I looked at the messages, cold, distant, saying I needed space, that I wasn't sure about the wedding, that maybe we should take a break. I never sent these, I whispered. I know, Lauren said, because I know you, Olivia. I saw you with my brother. You loved him. These messages, they don't sound like you. Then who? I don't know, Lauren admitted, but there's more. Ethan also received calls from your number late at night. When he answered, there was just silence. Then the call dropped. It happened at least 10 times. My mind was racing. When did this happen? Mostly when you were with your sister-in-law, Vanessa. Ethan told me you spent a lot of time with her back then, that she was helping you plan the wedding. Reflection. And suddenly, all the pieces started to fit. Every time Vanessa gently took my phone to snap a photo. Every time she accidentally took it to another room. Every night I fell asleep on her couch and woke up with my phone in a different spot. Vanessa, I said, and it wasn't a question. Lauren nodded slowly. Ethan never wanted to believe it. He said I was being paranoid. But Olivia, I think your sister-in-law sabotaged you two. I spent the next 2 hours telling Lauren everything, every time Vanessa had helped, every coincidence that led to the end of my relationship, every moment she was there to comfort me as my world crumbled. You need to tell Ethan, Lauren said finally. No, I said, not yet. First, I need proof, real proof, not just suspicion. How are you going to get that? I smiled, and it wasn't a gentle smile. I know someone. Marcus Chen was a digital forensic expert I had met through work. I was a project manager at a tech company, and Marcus had consulted for us on data security. He was also known for recovering unrecoverable information from old devices. Do you still have your old phone? He asked when I explained the situation. I do. I never could bring myself to get rid of it. And Ethan's phone? Lauren said he keeps everything. She'll get it for me. Marcus nodded. It'll take a few weeks, maybe a month, but if someone accessed your phone and sent messages, I'll find it. It was the longest 6 weeks of my life. I avoided Vanessa, made excuses to Christopher, buried myself in work. And at night, I stayed awake thinking about all the times Vanessa had helped and how many of those helps were actually sabotages. When Marcus finally called me, his voice was serious. "Olivia, you need to come here. You need to see this." His office was filled with monitors and equipment I didn't understand, but I understood the screens he showed me. "These are messages sent from your phone to Ethan," he said. "But look here. The metadata shows they were sent while your phone was connected to Vanessa and Christopher's home Wi-Fi. And what's more, there was another device connected at the same time, Vanessa's phone." "She was controlling my phone through hers?" "Not exactly. She physically took your phone and sent the messages. But she was clever. She used her Wi-Fi so it wouldn't show up in your mobile data history. You probably wouldn't even notice unless you specifically checked." He showed me more screens. "And there's this. Calls from your number to Ethan, all made from her house, all lasting less than 10 seconds. She would call and hang up," I said, my voice hollow, "to make it seem like I was messing with him, to make him think I was playing games." "Exactly," Marcus confirmed. "And there's more. I found deleted messages, messages you sent to Ethan that never arrived. Someone intercepted and deleted them before they were sent." Tears streamed down my face now. "How many?" 37, Marcus said softly. 37 messages over 3 months, all saying you loved him, that you were confused about the strange messages, that you wanted to talk, all deleted before they reached him. Thought, there's a special kind of cruelty in making someone think they're unloved when they are, in intercepting words of love and replacing them with coldness. Vanessa didn't just destroy my relationship. She made Ethan think I didn't care when I was desperately trying to reach him. "Can I use this?" I asked, as evidence. "You can," Marcus said. "And Olivia, there's more. I did a deeper search. Vanessa has done this before, with other people. There are similar behavioral patterns in old accounts she deleted, but which I managed to recover." He showed me more files. Messages Vanessa had sent impersonating other people, manipulations, lies, years of destructive behavior carefully hidden. She's sick," I whispered. "She's dangerous," Marcus corrected, "and you need to protect yourself and protect your brother." If you're enjoying this story, hit like and subscribe to the channel. Share in the comments if you've experienced something similar. Family manipulation is more common than we imagine, and talking about it can help someone recognize the signs. 2 weeks after receiving Marcus's evidence, I was sitting in Dr. Sarah Mitchell's office, my therapist, trying to process everything I had discovered. "How are you feeling?" she asked, her voice gentle but direct. "Anger," I said immediately. "So much anger that sometimes I can't breathe. But also relief? Relief? Because I wasn't crazy," I explained. "For 3 years, I thought I had done something wrong, that I had sabotaged my own relationship, that it was my fault Ethan left me. And now I know it wasn't. It was her. It was always her." Dr. Mitchell nodded. "And what do you want to do with this information?" Thought. This was the question, wasn't it? What do you do when you discover that someone you loved, someone you trusted, systematically destroyed your life? Do you seek revenge, justice, or something different? "I don't know," I admitted. "Part of me wants to expose her, tell Christopher, tell the whole family, make her suffer like she made me suffer. And the other part? The other part just wants peace, wants to move on, rebuild, not let her have any more power over me." "Those two things aren't mutually exclusive," Dr. Mitchell said. "You can seek truth and justice while also working on your own healing." "How?" "First, you need to decide what you want, not what Vanessa deserves, not what society says you should do, what you, Olivia Bennett, need to move forward." I spent the next few days thinking about it, and I realized something. I didn't want revenge in the traditional sense. I didn't want to destroy Vanessa or make her suffer. I wanted her to see. I wanted her to watch as I rebuilt everything she had tried to break. I wanted her to know that she had failed. I called Ethan, for the first time in 3 years. He answered on the third ring. "Olivia?" His voice was filled with surprise and something else. "Hope?" "Hi," I said, and my voice trembled. "Lauren told me about the messages, about everything." Silence. Then, Can you, can you meet me, please? We met at the same cafe where it all began, where we had our first date 6 years ago. Ethan was waiting at our old table, and when he saw me, something in his face broke. God, Olivia, he said, standing up. I'm so sorry. I should have questioned it. I should have trusted you instead of those messages. You didn't know, I said, sitting. None of us knew what she was capable of. We spent 3 hours talking. He told me about the strange messages, the silent calls, how he had become increasingly confused and hurt, how he had tried to talk to me, but I seemed distant, because Vanessa was deleting my reply messages. I thought you didn't love me anymore, he said, tears in his eyes. I thought I had done something wrong. I spent 3 years blaming myself. Me too, I admitted. 3 years thinking I had sabotaged the best thing that ever happened to me. And now? He asked softly, now that we know the truth? I looked at him, the man I loved, who I was going to marry, who was stolen from me by someone who pretended to love me, and I felt possibility. Now, I said, we decide who we want to be, not who Vanessa made us be, who we truly are. I still love you, Ethan said, and his voice was broken. I never stopped. I tried. God, how I tried. But you're impossible to forget. I love you too, I admitted. But Ethan, we can't just go back to where we were. Too much has happened. We've changed. Then we don't go back, he said. We start over. Different, better, stronger. Reflection. There's a difference between rebuilding something broken and building something new with the pieces. The first tries to recreate what was. The second accepts that what was is gone, but something new can emerge from the ruins. I'd like that, I said. But first, there was something I needed to do. I scheduled lunch with Christopher, alone, without Vanessa. He arrived at the restaurant looking worried. Liv, what's going on? You said it was urgent. I took a deep breath. Chris, I need to tell you something about Vanessa, and you won't want to believe it, but I need you to listen. I spent the next hour showing him everything, the recovered messages, the metadata, the pattern of behavior. He grew paler and paler, his hands trembling as he held the evidence. This can't be real, he whispered. Vanessa wouldn't. She wouldn't do this. She did, I said softly. And Chris, she did it to other people too. Before me. She'll probably do it again. He was crying now, silently. Why? Why would she do this? I don't know, I admitted. Control, insecurity, something deeper. But the reason doesn't matter as much as the fact that she did it. What do I do? He asked, and his voice was that of a lost child. You decide, I said. You confront her. You seek couples therapy. You end the marriage. You do what you need to do. But Chris, you can't pretend you don't know. Not anymore. He nodded, wiping his eyes. And you? What are you going to do? I'm going to live, I said. I'm going to rebuild. I'm going to be happy. And I'm going to make Vanessa watch. Is that revenge? No, I said. It's liberation. That night, Christopher confronted Vanessa. I wasn't there, but he told me later. How she denied it first, then cried, then admitted it, but tried to justify. She was protecting the family. She knew Ethan wasn't good for me. She was trying to help. She doesn't feel remorse, Christopher told me, his voice broken. She feels like she got caught. There's a difference. I know, I said. I filed for divorce, he continued. I can't stay with someone who did this, not just to you, but to other people. I can't trust her again. I'm sorry, Chris. Don't be, he said. You saved me from wasting more years with someone who was capable of that. Vanessa tried to contact me, dozens of times. Text messages, calls, emails, all saying the same thing. She was sorry, she didn't mean to hurt me, she only wanted the best for me, she was sick and needed help. I blocked everything, because Dr. Mitchell had taught me something important. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. You can forgive someone for what they did and still choose never to have contact with them again. Thought. Some bridges need to be burned, not out of anger, but out of self-preservation, because you can't heal in toxic environments. You can't grow where you've been repeatedly pruned. Sometimes self-love means cutting ties completely. 3 months later, Ethan and I were on our fifth first date. That's what we called it. Starting over, but with shared history. We were walking through Pike Place Market in Seattle, the same place where Vanessa once lied about seeing him with another woman. You know what's funny? Ethan said, holding my hand. She tried to destroy us here, and now we're rebuilding here, like reclaiming the space. It's not about complaining, I said. It's about not letting places we love be poisoned by bad memories. You've become so wise, he teased. I've become so tired, I corrected. Tired of letting her pain become my pain. Tired of letting her actions define my life. We stopped in front of the flower shop where he once bought me roses every week. Do you still like peonies? He asked. Still. He bought a huge bouquet, pink and white, fragrant and perfect. And when he handed it to me, it wasn't just flowers. It was a symbol of new beginnings, of choices, of love that survives even when they try to kill it. I love you, he said, and this time nothing will separate us, because now we know. We know how to protect what we have. I love you too, I said. But Ethan, if we're going to do this, really do this, we need boundaries. Boundaries with family, boundaries with people who try to control us. I agree, he said, and I've already started. My mom tried to make me invite Vanessa for Thanksgiving. I said no. How did she react? Not well, he admitted, but she'll have to accept it, because you are my priority now. We are priority. And there, in the middle of the market, surrounded by flowers and people and life happening, I realized something. The best revenge wasn't making Vanessa suffer. It was being so completely happy that her attempt to destroy me became irrelevant. 6 months after confronting Vanessa at the coffee shop, I was standing at the entrance of an event hall in Seattle, my heart pounding fast, Ethan by my side holding my hand. Today was the launch of my company, Bennett Creative Solutions, a design and project management consultancy I had built from the ground up in recent months. Inside that hall were 50 potential clients, business partners, friends, and family, including Christopher and Vanessa. Are you sure about this? Ethan asked, squeezing my hand. You don't have to invite her. I know, I said, but this isn't about her. It's about me. About not letting the fear of her stop me from living completely. I took a deep breath and we walked in. The hall was beautiful. Soft lighting, floral arrangements, peonies, of course, a presentation on the big screen showcasing my portfolio, everything I had built, everything I had become. Christopher saw me first and walked over, pulling me into a hug. I'm so proud of you, Liv, so proud. Thanks for coming, I said. I wouldn't miss this for anything. He hesitated. Vanessa is here. She insisted on coming, said she wanted to support you. It's okay, I said, and realized it was true. She can stay. Vanessa was near the bar, wearing an elegant black dress, perfect hair, impeccable makeup. She saw me, and something passed through her eyes. Pain, perhaps, or envy, or both. I didn't go to her. I didn't need to. Instead, I walked onto the small stage that had been set up and took the microphone. Good evening, everyone, I began, my voice surprisingly steady. Thank you for being here to celebrate the launch of Bennett Creative Solutions. For many of you, this might seem like just another business, but for me, it's much more. I looked around the room, my eyes finding Ethan, then Christopher, finally landing on Vanessa. 3 years ago, my life fell apart, I continued. I lost my engagement, I lost my confidence, I lost faith in myself. And for a long time, I thought it was my fault, that I had failed somehow. Thought, there's power in telling your story. Not the edited version, not the version that makes you look strong all the time. The real version, with all the pain, all the confusion, all the journey back to yourself. But I discovered something important, I said. I discovered that sometimes when your life falls apart, it's not because you failed. It's because someone was actively working to destroy it. And when you discover that, you have a choice. I paused, letting my words hang in the air. You can become bitter. You can seek revenge. You can let the betrayal define you forever. Or, I smiled, or you can use that pain as fuel. You can turn the brokenness into rebuilding. You can become so completely, radiantly, unbreakably happy that the attempt to destroy you becomes irrelevant. Vanessa was pale now, her wine glass trembling in her hand. This company, I continued, was built on the ruins of what someone tried to destroy. Every client I gained, every project I completed, every success I achieved, all of it was born from the decision not to let someone else's cruelty determine my worth. I looked directly at Vanessa now. So, to the person who tried to break me, thank you. Because in trying to destroy me, you forced me to discover how strong I truly am. You gave me the greatest gift, the proof that I can survive anything, even you. The silence in the room was absolute. Then someone started to applaud, then another. Soon the entire room was applauding, and I saw tears in many people's eyes. Vanessa put her glass on the bar and left, quickly, discreetly, but definitively. Christopher looked at me, questioningly, but I shook my head. Let her go. After the presentation, as I circulated through the room talking to guests, Ethan pulled me aside. "That was incredible," he said. "You were incredible." "I just told the truth," I replied. "You did more than that," he said. "You took your story back. You took your power back." Lauren, his sister, approached. "Olivia, can I talk to you for a second?" We moved away to a quieter corner. "I just wanted to tell you," Lauren began, "that what you did today was brave. Not just confronting what happened, but doing it publicly. You gave voice to something many people experience but can't name." "What?" I asked. "Emotional manipulation by people who claim to love you," she said. "Sabotage disguised as care. It's so common, but no one talks about it because it seems crazy, paranoid. But you spoke out. And I guarantee someone in this room needed to hear that." She was right. Throughout the night, 3 different people approached me privately. A woman whose best friend had sabotaged her marriage, a man whose sister had destroyed his career out of envy, a young woman whose mother controlled every aspect of her life through concern. "How did you overcome?" they would ask. "How did you move on?" And I would tell them the same thing. You name it. You recognize it. You set boundaries, and you build a life so beautiful that the attempt at destruction becomes just a footnote in your story. Reflection. There's power in turning pain into purpose, in taking the thing that almost destroyed you and using it to build something greater. Not because the pain was good, but because you are strong enough to transform it into something useful. Later that night, after everyone had left, Ethan and I were alone in the hall helping the cleaning crew tidy up. "You know what I realized today?" he said, stopping to look at me. "What?" "Vanessa didn't win. She tried to destroy us, tried to break you, and all she accomplished was making us stronger, together and separately." "She lost more than that," I said. "She lost Christopher, lost the family, lost the facade she had built. And most importantly, she lost power over me." "Do you think she'll change?" Ethan asked. "Like, really change?" "I don't know," I admitted. "And honestly, it's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to myself, to my healing, to my happiness." He pulled me into a hug. "I love you, and I'm so proud of who you've become." "I love you too," I said. "And Ethan, thank you." "Why?" "For not giving up. For believing in me when you found out the truth, for being willing to start over." "Always," he said. "Always." My phone vibrated. A message from Christopher. "Vanessa left. Said she's staying with her sister in Portland for a while. She told me to tell you she's sorry. I don't know if it's genuine, but I thought you should know." I looked at the message for a long moment. Then I typed back. "Thanks for letting me know. I hope she finds peace. But Chris, I found mine, and that's what matters." Because it was true. I had found peace. Not through revenge or making Vanessa suffer, but through living so completely, so authentically, that her attempt to destroy me became irrelevant. The best revenge wasn't destroying her. It was rebuilding myself so magnificently that she had no choice but to watch. A year after the launch of my company, I was sitting on the porch of the house Ethan and I had bought together in Bellevue, Washington. It was a Saturday morning, the sun rising over Lake Washington, the smell of coffee, that special coffee Ethan still made every morning, drifting through the open door. My laptop was open, showing the quarter's numbers. Bennett Creative Solutions had grown beyond my most optimistic expectations. 15 employees, clients in 3 states, revenue that allowed me not only to live comfortably, but to help others. I had started a mentorship program for women rebuilding their lives after abusive relationships. Ethan came out with 2 mugs, handed me one, and sat beside me. Good numbers? Great numbers, I said, closing the laptop. But you know what's better? What? That numbers don't define me anymore. My success isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's just living. He smiled. You've come a long way. We've come a long way, I corrected, together. Thought. Healing isn't linear. It's not waking up one day and being completely fine. It's waking up one day and realizing that pain isn't the first thing you feel anymore. It's realizing you've gone hours, then days, then weeks without thinking about the person who hurt you. It's rebuilding your life so completely that the past becomes just that, the past. My phone rang. Christopher. I still talk to him regularly. Our relationship had ironically strengthened after everything. He had done the hard work of examining how he had allowed Vanessa to operate unquestioned, how he had prioritized keeping the peace over protecting the people he loved. Hi, Chris, I answered. Hi, Liv. Do you have a minute? Always. I received a letter from Vanessa. She's in treatment, intensive therapy at a clinic in Oregon. She wants to apologize, personally, to you and to Ethan. My body tensed automatically, but not in the same way it used to. It wasn't fear or anger. It was just caution. What do you think? I asked. I think, Christopher said carefully, that she's really trying this time. Her therapist called me, with her permission, and said she's doing real work, confronting behavioral patterns, working on control issues, learning about healthy boundaries. And you believe her? I want to believe her, he admitted. But I've also learned not to trust blindly. So, I don't know. But I thought you should decide for yourself. I hung up and looked at Ethan. Did you hear? I heard, he said. What do you want to do? I don't know, I admitted. Part of me wants to say no automatically, keep my distance, protect my peace. And the other part? The other part wonders if seeing her, hearing her apologies, could be part of my own closure. Not for her, for me. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, my therapist, helped me process the decision over the next few weeks. There's no right answer, she said. You can choose to see her or not. Both choices are valid. The question is, what do you need? I thought about it for a long time, and finally decided I would see her, but on my terms, in a public place, with Ethan present, and with the clear understanding that this did not mean reconciliation or instant forgiveness. We met at a cafe in Portland 3 months later. Vanessa arrived early, sitting at a table near the window. She looked different. Shorter hair, no heavy makeup, simpler clothes. She looked smaller somehow, less polished, more real. When she saw me, she stood up, but didn't approach. She waited for me to come to her. Olivia, she said, and her voice was broken. Thank you for coming. I didn't expect you to come. I almost didn't, I said, sitting. Ethan sat beside me, his presence a silent reminder that I wasn't alone. Vanessa nodded. I understand. And I don't expect forgiveness. I don't expect you to give me another chance. I needed to tell you personally how sorry I am. Then say it, I said, my voice harsher than I intended. She took a deep breath, tears already forming. I destroyed your relationship. I manipulated you. I manipulated Ethan. I used my access to your life to sabotage your happiness. And I did it all while pretending to love you, pretending to be helping you. Why? The question came out before I could stop it. Because I was broken, Vanessa said. And broken people sometimes break other people. Not because they want to, but because they don't know how to do otherwise. She wiped her eyes. I grew up in a home where love was conditional, where you had to compete for attention, and I learned that the only way to feel safe was to control everything around me. Control people, situations, narratives. Reflection. And there it was, the explanation that didn't excuse but contextualized. Vanessa wasn't purely evil. She was deeply damaged, and her damage had overflowed and hurt others. Understanding this didn't mean forgiving, but it did mean seeing the full humanity of the situation. When you and Ethan got engaged, she continued, I panicked because you were building something beautiful, something I never had. And instead of working on my own problems, instead of being happy for you, I decided to destroy. Because if I couldn't have genuine happiness, no one could. That's sick, Ethan said, his voice hard. I know, Vanessa said. I know. And I've spent the last year in intensive therapy trying to understand why I am this way, trying to change. Not for you, for me, because I don't want to be that person anymore. And are you different? I asked. Really different? I don't know, she admitted. I'm trying. Every day I'm trying. But real change takes time, and I might relapse. I might fail. But for the first time in my life, I'm genuinely trying to be better. We sat in silence for a long moment. Then I said, I don't forgive you. Not yet. Maybe never completely. What you did caused years of pain. For me, for Ethan, for Christopher. I know, she whispered. But, I continued, I accept your apology. And I hope you continue working on yourself. Not for me, for you. And for anyone you might hurt in the future if you don't do the work. Vanessa nodded, tears streaming freely now. Thank you for listening to me, for not hating me. I don't hate you, I said. I feel sorry for you because you wasted so much time destroying instead of building, and now you have to live with that. I stood up, Ethan with me. I hope you find peace, Vanessa, genuine peace. But that peace can't come from me or Ethan. It has to come from you. We walked out of the cafe, and as we headed back to the car, Ethan asked, How are you feeling? Free, I said. Finally, completely free. Because it was true. Seeing Vanessa, hearing her apologies, hadn't changed the past, but it had brought closure to something. It had transformed her from a monster in my mind to a broken person in reality. And somehow, that made it all easier to let go. 3 months later, Ethan and I got married. Small ceremony, just close family and intimate friends. Christopher was there, smiling through happy tears. Lauren was my maid of honor. Marcus, the forensic expert who had recovered the evidence, was there too. He had become a close friend throughout the process. Vanessa was not invited. And for the first time, this wasn't about anger or revenge. It was simply about protecting our peace. During the vows, Ethan held my hands and said, Olivia, you taught me that love isn't just about the good moments. It's about choosing each other, repeatedly, even when it's hard. It's about rebuilding when someone tries to destroy. It's about being so completely committed that no external force can separate us. And I choose you, he continued, voice breaking. Every day, for the rest of my life, I choose you. When it was my turn, I looked at him and said, Ethan, 3 years ago, someone tried to destroy us. And for a while, they succeeded. But you know what I discovered? You can't destroy something that is meant to exist. You can only delay it. And we were delayed, I said. But we were not destroyed. Because real love, genuine love, survives. Not perfectly, not with scars, but it survives, and it becomes stronger for it. Thought. There's a difference between the naive love of those who have never been tested and the conscious love of those who have survived the test. The first is beautiful, but fragile. The second is beautiful because it is resilient, because it knows it can break and still chooses to stay. At the reception, Christopher pulled me aside. Liv, I just wanted to say thank you. Why? For showing me what was happening, for saving me from wasting more years, he paused, emotion in his voice, for being strong enough to rebuild yourself. You inspired me to do the same. Are you doing okay? I asked. I'm better, he said. I'm in therapy. I'm working on understanding why I allowed Vanessa to operate unquestioned. And he smiled, I'm dating someone kind, someone healthy. I'm happy for you, I said genuinely. And I for you, he replied. You deserve all this happiness, Liv, all of it. Later that night, when the party was over and Ethan and I were alone in our hotel room, he asked me, do you have any regrets about how everything happened? I thought about it. No, I said finally, because if none of that had happened, I wouldn't be who I am now. We wouldn't be who we are, and I like who we've become. Even with all the pain? Especially with all the pain, I said, because the pain taught me that I am stronger than I thought. It taught me about boundaries, about self-preservation, about not blindly trusting people just because they say they love you. It taught me, I continued, that the best revenge isn't making someone suffer. It's living so well that their attempt to destroy you becomes irrelevant. Ethan pulled me into a hug. I love you, and I'm grateful every day that you didn't give up. On me, on us. Never, I said, because you're worth it, we're worth it. 2 years later, I was standing on stage at a Women in Business conference, telling my story. Not all the details, some were too private, but the essence. How someone close had tried to destroy me, how I had used that destruction as fuel for rebuilding, how I had turned pain into purpose. The person who tried to break me, I said to the audience of 300 women, gave me the greatest gift without knowing it. She forced me to discover my own strength, forced me to stop relying on external validation and find internal validation, forced me to build a life so solid that no external force could destroy it. And today, I continued, I am grateful, not for the pain, never for the pain, but for what the pain taught me, for the person I became through it. After the talk, a young woman approached me. Your story, it resonated with me, because I'm going through something similar. My best friend is sabotaging my relationship, and I don't know what to do. You name it, I said. You recognize it. You set boundaries. And you build a life so beautiful that her attempt at destruction becomes just a footnote. How do I do that? She asked, tears in her eyes. One day at a time, I said. One step at a time. And you remember that her opinion of you doesn't define your worth. Her actions don't determine your future. You define your worth. You determine your future. Final reflection. Overcoming isn't about forgetting what happened. It's about integrating it into your story without letting it define you. It's about transforming "this destroyed me" into "this taught me." It's about living so completely that the past becomes merely a prologue to something greater. This story shows us that not all betrayal comes from strangers. Sometimes it comes from people who claim to love us, who use concern and protection as masks for control and manipulation. And when that happens, when we discover we've been systematically sabotaged, we have a choice. We can become bitter, we can seek destructive revenge, or we can turn pain into power. We can use the attempt to break us as fuel to rebuild ourselves stronger, wiser, more resilient. The best revenge is not to make someone suffer. It is to thrive so completely that their attempt to destroy you becomes irrelevant. It is to live so well that they have no choice but to watch you win. And in the process, you discover something crucial. Your happiness never depended on their approval. Your worth was never determined by their opinion. You were always strong enough. You just needed a reason to discover it. If this story touched you, if you've ever been sabotaged by someone who pretended to love you, no, you are not alone. Your pain is valid. Your anger is valid. And your choice to rebuild yourself is the bravest thing you can do. Subscribe to the channel for more stories of overcoming, resilience, and transformation. Leave in the comments. Have you ever experienced sabotage from someone close to you? How did you overcome it? And always remember, the best revenge is your peace. The best victory is your happiness. And no one can take that from you unless you let them. Final question for reflection. When someone tries to destroy you, do you let it define you? Or do you use it as fuel to rebuild yourself stronger than ever? The choice has always been yours, and always will be.